On this episode of Lapeef, Let's Talk.
By the user, but they're also trained to help you get the answer. A lot of times you talk to a therapist and you usually come up with the answer that you already knew was correct, but they help you arrive at that point.
Well, let me tell you.
Hold on. Let me finish because she let me finish.
Y'all don't know what's wrong with your logic? I'm just curious. You don't know that. You don't know. Dog, I seen a therapist practically get a girl divorced. This therapist told this chick that she need to communicate more. She need to be more forthcoming with what her thoughts with the man. That dude was like, "You don't get your bags and get on up out of here."
And
let me tell you something. The actual difference between the two.
Coaches, I'm not taking shots at you. I'm talking about therapy.
Yeah, let Logic finish because he was talking.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right, go ahead.
For therapy, when you really look at it, the people who can give you the best therapy is the people that knows you best.
But Mr. Let Go, you got to realize, in order for somebody to go to therapy, they have to think there's a problem. The hair is part of the mental illness.
Yes.
And the only reason why I say that is because I've seen too many of y'all, the moment you get your weave done, you can't stop touching it. Like you're constantly stroking it. And like, to me, that's a sign of some sort of mental issue.
Mental illness.
No.
They don't stroke it, they pat it. They do like this.
Why are you making it sound like it's a pet? Like
they do it like this.
No, that's when they got a scratch, Anton. When they pull on it, it's just some idiotic behavior, like animals or some shit. They just sit around.
Y'all do know that therapy is a scam.
Other people's hair.
Therapy is a scam. I've seen chicks go to therapy and they come out worse.
Well, there is a level of, are they doing the work too? Because I'm not a therapist. I'm not a clinical therapist. I'm not a doctor, obviously, whatever. But what I do is very similar to CBT, and their results, good or bad, are their results. So if they don't apply and manage their thinking and their feelings and what they do or not do, I don't tell them what to do, then that's on them. So the accountability goes to that person. But they also might be a shit therapist too. So especially if they're woke or something.
I say women go in front of the therapist and tell the therapist they wrong.
No,
that's just real. A lot of women do that.
I'm glad. Look, see, Anton is changing me, but I'm rubbing off on Anton too, because ma'am had this debate about the therapist probably about 6 months ago. And you can only you got to put into the therapist to get out of it.
No, we didn't have a debate. We agreed.
It was the panel though. It was the panel.
We agreed.
Yeah, all right, we agree. But no, he's absolutely right. I don't think that all therapy is a scam, but the problem is that this is the difference between coaching and therapy. Coaching, a lot of times you're paying for somebody to give you the truth based off of whatever it is that you're getting coaching for, right? Therapy, you're empowering somebody to, because they're not going to tell you the truth, right? What they're doing is they can only help you based off of the information that you provide.
So is that with coaching though too?
So the difference is, listen, if I go to the gym, the trainer knows exactly what it is that I need to eat in order to change my body. He can measure my BMI, all of that type of stuff, right? That's something that we can't debate, right? A therapist can only help you based off of how much you contribute into the conversation.
Just like a doctor, though, if you don't tell them your symptoms, they can't help you.
It's the same thing, right?
You're talking about, right? If you think about it.
I will be all into this.
if you go to the dentist, right, or you go to the doctor, it's easy for them to be able to see whether or not you got a cavity. If they do a CAT scan, they can find out, or they do an MRI. It's very, you know what I'm saying? They can find out wherever it is that the issue is, and so on and so forth. But my point is that when you go to a therapist, and I'm open to the possibility that I'm wrong. When you go to the therapist, like, I've seen women go to therapists. So basically, they were looking for somebody to be able to dump out their problems, but they're not necessarily able to identify what the issue is.
And so based off of what you contribute into it. If you don't think you got a problem, then that's not something that you're going to talk about.
Well, the issue with therapy, one, it depends on the therapist you go to. If you go to a good therapist, the same way a doctor has tools to probe to find out what's wrong with you, a good therapist is going to ask the right questions, and you have to be honest and cooperate. But the problem with women going to therapy nowadays is we have a society that loves to coddle women. So a lot of times, this is why guys find problems when they go to marriage therapists, because the moment they go to marriage therapists, they kind of put it all on the guy and they make excuses for the wife.
Well, let me ask you a question, Angry Man. Let's do this. When you go to school to be a doctor, you moving based off of substantiated ways in which they can solve for whatever it is your problem, chemotherapy, whatever. I don't know, surgeon, spine, whatever, right? How do I know that this motherfucker that we talking to in a therapy session is not a simp?
You don't.
Like, how do I know?
That's
We
why
seen that chick that was a therapist out here looking like she was for the streets on TikTok when she lost her job. How do I know that my therapist ain't her and she for the streets?
That's why a good therapist, just like a doctor or a lawyer, you want somebody that comes highly recommended. You don't want to just pick anybody. You want to know that that person actually has some damn results. You feel what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of therapists out here that suck. Don't get it twisted. There's a lot of therapists out here that are enabling.
But this is Angry Man. The problem with therapy is that data is provided by the user.
Okay.
So yes, in the best, like I keep saying, in Wakanda, where everybody will tell the truth, they'll see it and answer the questions truthfully. You know what I'm saying? We get women up here, we can't even get them to just admit that they're wrong. And so, now you think they're gonna go to the therapist and goddamn say, no, the data they gonna put out to that therapist is the same data that we see them put out in their regular life.
This is how you solve for that.
We do it. But I agree with Anton, coaching is different.
So I agree with you. I agree with you, Logic, that data is provided by the user, but they're also trained to help you get the answer. A lot of times you talk to a therapist and you usually come up with the answer that you already knew was correct, but they help you arrive at that point.
Let me tell you.
Hold on. Let me finish because she let me finish.
Y'all don't know what's wrong with your Logic? I'm just curious. You don't know that you don't know. Dog, I seen a therapist practically get a girl divorced. This therapist told this chick that she need to communicate more. She need to be more forthcoming with what her thoughts with the man. That dude was like, you don't get your bags and get on up out of here.
And
let me tell you something. The actual difference between the two.
Coaches, I'm not taking shots at you. I'm talking about therapy.
Let Logic finish because he was talking.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right, go ahead.
For therapy, when you really look at it, the people who can give you the best therapy is the people that knows you best.